The sky above Aerodome 9 was filled with flying cars and blinking lights. Neon signs glowed on every building, showing ads for robots, tech gear, and virtual games. People moved fast in every direction, some with metal arms, others with floating shopping bags. It was a city of machines, rich corporations, and secrets. Zari, a 16-year-old black girl, walked quietly through the city's open market. She wore her school uniform from Novatech Academy, a white and blue jacket with a small badge. Full SCHOLL. Her backpack was heavy with books and coding tablets. Her braids were tied back. Her shoes were old, but clean. She kept her head high, though she didn't look at anyone. Some people stared, others whispered. She didn't care. Zari was used to walking alone. Her father worked long hours in the lower levels of the city, fixing machines in the waste tunnels. He told her, "Let them talk. You know who you are." But today, something felt off. She reached the market gate, a giant metal arch that led to the power station. Vendors lined the path, selling glowing fruits, robot pets, and energy packs. Drones flew overhead, watching everyone. Then she heard it. Laughter. Cold. Mocking. Zari slowed down. Her heart beat faster. 3 teens stepped in front of her. All wore shiny, custom clothes with glowing logos. Their shoes floated inches above the ground. One of them, a tall girl with silver piercings, smirked. "Look who thinks she belongs here," she said. "Scholar girl." Zari said nothing. She tried to walk past. A boy blocked her. "Hey, what's in the bag? Hacking tools, or just second-hand junk?" Zari's grip tightened on her strap. "I don't want trouble." "Too late," the boy said. He kicked her back off her shoulder. Books, tablets, and a small circuit board spilled onto the metal floor. The teens laughed louder. People walked by, but no one helped. No one wanted to get involved. Zari bent down to gather her things. Her hands shook. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned. She had seen worse, but today felt different. Deeper. Colder. Then someone moved. Not fast. Not loud. Just a silent shift in the background. Across the street, a man in a worn-out janitor's coat swept the pavement near a drone-charging pole. His clothes were old and stained. A cap hid most of his face. His boots were scuffed. He looked like just another cleaner. Invisible. But he wasn't. His name was Dante. He didn't say a word. He didn't stop sweeping. But his eyes locked on the teens. Zari didn't notice him. The teens didn't either. Except, Dante noticed something they didn't. The boy who had kicked her bag had something shiny under his sleeve. A small glimmer. The edge of a shock knife. A banned weapon used to stun people with electric pulses. Dante's eyes narrowed. The girl with silver piercings reached down and picked up one of Zari's circuit boards. "This looks expensive. Think I'll keep it." Zari stood slowly. "Give it back." The boy with the shock knife stepped closer. "Or what?" Zari clenched her fists. Her voice didn't shake. "Or I report you." "Report us?" The boy laughed. "To who? You think anyone's gonna listen to you? You're just a bottom-level rat." The words hit hard. But before Zari could speak, a gust of wind swept through the alley. Dante moved. He didn't speak. He didn't charge. He just took one step forward. Quiet, slow, controlled. The boy with the weapon noticed him now. "Hey," he called. "Mind your business, old man." Dante kept sweeping. One hand slid slowly under his coat. The boy's smirk faded just a little. Zari finally looked up. Her eyes met Dante's for the first time. Something about him made her pause. His eyes were sharp, alert, like he had seen war. The girl with piercings turned. "What are you staring at, janitor?" Dante's voice came low, calm, deep. "Put it back." Everyone froze. The street noise faded. The boy laughed nervously. "Or what?" Dante took another step. The teens suddenly weren't laughing. The boy's fingers twitched near his sleeve. But then he changed his mind. He dropped Zari's circuit board on the ground. "Forget it. Let's go." They backed away. Quick steps, no more smirks. Zari stood frozen, her heart racing. Dante didn't look at her. He turned back to his broom, as if nothing had happened. She wanted to speak, say thank you, ask who he was. But he was already walking away, disappearing into the city's shadows. Zari looked down at her circuit board, then at the power station ahead. Something told her this wasn't the last time she would see that man. And somehow, deep in her chest, that made her feel safe. The floating city of Aerodome 9 buzzed outside her small room. Neon lights flashed through her window. Flying drones zipped past. But Zari's mind stayed on one thing: the man in the janitor's coat. He had scared off 3 wealthy teens with just a few words. No yelling, no fight, just a stare that said, "I know how to end you." Who was he? She whispered to herself. The next day at school, Zari walked into Novatech Academy's gates. The school stood high above the main city, built from glass and glowing steel. Most of the students wore designer jackets, smart glasses, and carried AI pets. Zari kept to herself, as always. Her books were full of notes, her mind sharp. She built code like it was music, but she was alone. The same 3 teens were there. They looked at her, but didn't say a word. No smirks, no insults, just silence. Zari sat at her desk. She was halfway through a lesson on Neuralink systems when a message blinked on her tablet. "Meet me at the South Tunnel. After school, come alone." She blinked. No name, no address link. The message had no trace. Her heart thudded. She knew who it was. The South Tunnel was under the old mag train tracks, close to the waste fence. Most students never went there. Too dark, too forgotten. It smelled of oil and rust. But Zari went. She kept her bag close, eyes alert. Footsteps echoed as she stepped into the tunnel. Yellow lights flickered on the walls. And then he appeared. Dante. Same coat, same boots, same calm eyes. He leaned against the wall, arms crossed. A cleaning bot rolled by and beeped at him. He waved it away. "You came?" he said quietly. Zari nodded. "You sent the message?" He gave a short nod. "You're smart, brave, but that won't be enough." Zari narrowed her eyes. "Who are you?" Dante stepped forward, still calm. "A mistake. From a past that won't stay buried." She didn't understand. "Why help me yesterday?" He looked at her hard. "Because I know predators. I used to be one." Zari blinked. "What?" Dante turned his back to her. "The boy you faced, he's part of a gang. A rich one. Connected. Dangerous. You embarrassed him. He won't forget that." Zari's voice dropped. "So what now? You need to stay invisible. Keep your head down. Finish school. Leave this city." "I can't," she said. "My dad, he works here. I need to be here." Dante paused. Then slowly, he pulled something from his coat, a small photo. Worn. Torn. It showed a younger version of him, in military gear, holding a little girl. "My daughter looked just like you," he said. Zari looked at the photo, then at him. "What happened to her?" His jaw tightened. "They came for me, and took her instead." Silence filled the tunnel. Dante took a breath and placed the photo back. "Listen to me. If those kids come for you again, you don't fight them." Zari raised her chin. "I'm not afraid." "You should be," he said sharply. Then, he handed her a small black chip. "If you ever feel truly unsafe, plug this into any comm terminal. Just one word. That's all I need." "What word?" Zari asked. He looked at her. "Help." She gripped the chip in her hand. "What if I don't need it?" Dante started walking away. "You will." And just like that, he disappeared into the tunnel shadows. Zari stood alone, chip in hand, unsure whether to feel safer or more scared, because something in his eyes told her this wasn't just about school bullies anymore. Something bigger was coming. 2 days passed. Zari tried to stay invisible, just like Dante said. She moved quietly in class, ate lunch alone, kept her head down. But the silence was worse than the bullying. The rich teens no longer mocked her, But they stared, cold, quiet, watching her every move. Then came the school-wide announcement. Attention students, a special tech competition is being held this Friday. Top 3 will present at the Nova Tech CEO's showcase. Zari's heart jumped. She had dreamed of that event. If she won, it could open doors, maybe even get her father promoted. She worked all night building her project, a code that made broken AI repair themselves using leftover parts. On Friday morning, she arrived early. Her tablet glowed with code. Her heart was calm. But in the locker room, her backpack was missing. Panic hit her. She searched everywhere, asked the cleaning bots. Nothing. Finally, she found it, in the trash chute. Her tablet was there too, but the code was gone. Someone had wiped it. She stared in disbelief. And then she saw him, Riven, the same teen who had knocked over her bag at the market. He smiled as he walked onto the stage. In his hand, a tablet that looked just like hers. Zari sat frozen in the crowd as he presented her code. The teachers clapped. Even the Nova Tech board members stood and cheered. He had stolen everything. Tears burned in Zari's eyes, but she refused to cry. She stood up and left the hall. That's when she noticed something strange. A message blinking on the corner of her broken tablet. A trace code. Someone had left it there. Just 2 words. They're watching. Zari ran to the south tunnel. But Dante wasn't there. She searched every corner, every shadow. No sign of him. She finally sat on the cold floor, fists clenched. Was this what he meant? Was this the danger? Then her tablet buzzed again. A video file appeared. She played it and gasped. It showed Riven in a dark room, handing Zari's code to a man in a suit. The man smiled, transferred something onto Riven's comm chip, and said, "Good job. She'll break soon. Her father's loyalty depends on it." Zari's blood turned cold. What did her father have to do with this? Suddenly, a whisper came from behind her. "Now you see it." She turned. Dante. His eyes were hard. "They're not just bullies," he said. "They're being used to hurt you, to break your father." "But my dad's just a janitor," Zari whispered. Dante shook his head. "No, Zari, he's not. Not even close." Zari stared at him, confused and scared. "What is he?" she asked. Dante's voice dropped low. "He's the only man who once stopped a war with just one code." Zari's mind spun. Her quiet father, her gentle, quiet dad, was a former war coder. Dante nodded. "And they want him back, or destroyed." Zari felt like the ground had shifted under her feet. Everything she thought she knew was wrong. And the worst part? She was just the bait. Zari sat in silence, her hands shaking. Her father, a war coder. Someone powerful enough to stop a war? How is that possible? She asked Dante, her voice low. Dante looked around. He erased his past to keep you safe. He chose a quiet life, took a fake job as a janitor. But the wrong people remembered him, and now they're using you to bring him out of hiding. Zari stared at the blinking video on her tablet, the proof of betrayal, of danger. "I have to tell him," she said. Dante grabbed her wrist. "No, that's what they want. If he steps forward now, they'll trap him, or worse." Zari pulled away. "Then what can I do? Just wait while they ruin our lives?" Dante's eyes narrowed. "No, you're smarter than them. And now, you're not alone." He reached into his coat and handed her a data chip. "This will override Riven's stolen code, but more than that, it'll expose the man behind this." "Who is he?" Zari asked. "Someone your father once trusted, now working for Nova Tech's Black Ops." Zari held the chip tight, her chance to fight back. Dante leaned in. "You must enter the finals. Pretend nothing happened. Let Riven win again. Then, upload the truth live during the broadcast." Zari's eyes widened. "In front of everyone?" He nodded. "It'll reach every screen in the dome." Zari hesitated. "And what about my father?" Dante's voice dropped. "He's being watched, but if we pull this off, they'll run." Zari returned to her dorm, and rebuilt her code from scratch, all night long. No sleep, no food, just focus. On finals day, she walked on stage with calm eyes and a steady hand. Riven smirked from across the hall. Novitech executives filled the front row. Teachers whispered, cameras rolled. Riven went first. He gave a flawless speech. The crowd clapped. The judges nodded. Then came Zeri's turn. She stood before the crowd, her tablet linked to the dome-wide screen. She took a deep breath. Today, I want to show you something real, not just a code, but a truth. She inserted Dante's chip. For a second, nothing happened. Then, images flashed across every screen. Riven stealing her project. The darkroom meeting. Novitech's secret agent paying him. A list of names, and one stood out. Zeri's father, former tactical war coder, Project Lazarus. Gasps filled the room. Teachers stood. Security scrambled. Riven dropped his mic and ran. Zeri stepped back from the screen. Then the lights went out. Total darkness. Screams echoed. A siren blared in the distance. And a robotic voice announced, "Warn and unauthorized data leak detected. Executing lockdown." Zeri froze. From the crowd, someone shouted, "She's the target. Get her." She turned to run, but a strong hand grabbed her arm. She looked up. It wasn't Dante. It was someone she hadn't seen in years. Her father. But this wasn't the gentle janitor. His eyes were sharp, his posture military. He looked straight at her and said, "It's time, Zeri. Let's finish what they started." Zeri stared at the man in front of her. "Dad," she whispered. The man gave a small nod. "Not just your father," he said quietly. "Today, I'm also your shield." He pulled her behind a broken console as red lights flashed above. Security bots flew through the doors, scanning for targets. The judges and students were running, screaming, hiding. Zeri's heart pounded. "They're after me." Her father checked a small wrist device. "No. They're after what you showed. You hurt powerful people, Zeri. Now they want to erase all proof, and anyone who saw it." Suddenly, metal gates slammed shut across the exits. A robotic voice echoed, "Low CKDWN NICATD. All movement restricted. Intruders will be neutralized." Dante's voice crackled in Zeri's earpiece. "Zeri, can you hear me?" "I'm here," she whispered. "Good. You and your father need to reach the south stairwell. I'll create a diversion." "Wait," Zeri said. "Are you inside?" "I never left," Dante replied. "I've been one of their shadows for years." Zeri's father looked at her. "Follow my lead." He tapped a hidden panel in the wall. A secret door slid open. Behind it, an old maintenance tunnel filled with steam and wires. They ran through the tight space. Sparks flew from overhead pipes. Zeri tried to keep up. "I thought you were just a janitor," she said breathlessly. "I was," her father replied. "After I destroyed Project Lazarus, I promised myself I'd live a quiet life. But they found me. Used you to smoke me out." She stopped. "Why didn't you tell me who you were?" He looked back, his face hard but sad. "Because every time I used those skills, people got hurt." Suddenly, a laser blast hit the tunnel wall beside them. Zeri screamed. Armed drones dropped through the ceiling vents. Her father pushed her behind a crate and pulled out a plasma baton from his coat. With expert speed, he disarmed 2 drones, slamming one into the wall and slicing the other midair. Zeri watched, stunned. Her father moved like a warrior. Dante's voice returned in the earpiece. "They're trying to corner you near the power grid. I'm rerouting systems to cause an EMP pulse. It'll give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds to do what?" Zeri asked. "To get out of there." Her father grabbed her hand. When the lights cut, "Run." They crouched behind a broken server. 3 more drones floated in. The countdown began. 5, 4, 3. A sharp boom echoed. Lights burst. The tunnel shook. Everything went black. Her father shouted, "Now!" They ran. Through broken tunnels. Past flickering sparks. until at last, they burst through a final hatch. Fresh air, open sky, the edge of Aerodome 9 Stocking Bay. Zari fell to her knees, gasping. Her father scanned the sky. They'll be back. We bought time, not safety. Zari stood slowly. Then what now? He looked at her. You finish what you started, and I finish what I tried to bury. The wind roared across the edge of Aerodome 9. Zari stood beside her father, watching the city burn with flashing red alarms and rising drone patrols. Smoke curled above the academy dome. Fear and fire had taken over the sky. They'll chase us forever, she said quietly. Her father checked a warn device. Not if we finish this now. Zari frowned. How? Dante's voice came through the comms again. I've uploaded the full data Zari recovered. The experiments, the funding, the truth. It's live, all across the dome. Her eyes widened. Everyone can see it? Dante replied, yes. Students, workers, bots, even the outer colonies. The whole system knows. But then, the calm ended. Black airships rose in the distance, elite enforcer squads. They're coming fast, Zari said, heart racing. Her father reached into his coat and pulled out a second earpiece. Time to let the ghosts speak. Voices filled their ears. Dozens of deep, strong voices from men and women who had once worked with him in secret. We see you, Hawk, one voice said. Let's clean the sky, another growled. Zari turned to her father. Hawk? He gave a half smile. My old codename. Suddenly, across the rooftops and towers, shadowy figures stood tall. Ex-soldiers, old rebels, and rogue engineers. People once hunted by the system. People ready for justice. A siren rang. The city's voice shouted, Lun aet authorized weapons, activated. Unknown forces approaching. Lasers lit the sky. The rooftop war had begun. Zari's father handed her a small cube. You have one job. Stay alive and keep this cube safe. What is it? He looked at her gently. It's a code. One that can shut down every drone, every weapon, every control link in this city. But what about you? I'll distract them. You upload the code when you reach the beacon tower. Zari hesitated, then nodded. They split. Zari ran through the chaos, dodging fire, drones, collapsing stairs. She passed scared students, teachers hiding, rebels fighting with stolen weapons. She climbed the beacon tower, her fingers bleeding, her lungs aching. Below, she saw her father battling like a storm, moving through flames, disabling drones, leading the others with perfect control. At the top of the tower, Zari reached the terminal. She placed the cube into the port. COD accepted. Final override in 10. Drones zoomed toward her. 9. She screamed into her comm. I did it. I'm at the top. 8. 7. Her father's voice came through. You did good, baby girl. 6. 5. The drones aimed. Zari closed her eyes. 4. 3. 2. Boom. A blinding light shot through the sky. The drones stopped. All of them. They fell from the sky like dead stars. The airships went black. The system shut down. Then, silence. Below, people stepped into the streets. Workers, citizens, students. They looked at the screens showing the truth. Zari looked down. Her father stood on the rooftop, smiling up at her. They had won. Together.